Okay, there's something I want to explain here before we go further. If we go to File, User Preferences, there's an option in Input, which is off by default. And if you're using a laptop that does not have a numpad, you need to solve being able to use these keyboard shortcuts. And the way to do that for these numeric inputs, and the way to do that is to emulate numpad, like that. And that'll turn the top keyboard numbers into the numpad inputs, which can be useful. In my case, when I'm clicking on my numpad, it doesn't show up on this display, this keyboard shortcut display, but it will if I use the ones on the top of the keyboard and have this shift change to numpad. So that works. Just thought I'd point that out if you're using a laptop. And the other thing I want to point out is when you are scaling or rotating in the viewport, and I should have probably pointed this out before, the distance from the mouse pointer to the center of the object will make a lot of difference as far as when you're scaling or rotating. And the reason is, if you're really close and you go to scale, you might find it popping like that on you. When you go to scale something, it might just sort of pop like that really easily. Also, it gives you more control. If you're further away, you're getting a lot finer of a smoother. In other words, you're scaling less, right? You see, that makes sense. If I'm really close, then it's right in my face. I'm scaling a lot. I'm not getting the finer tune, so it's a little bit further away, and I can finer tune the scaling, right, interactively. And the same goes for rotation. If you're really close, that can get kind of wonky really fast. Like it rotates all over the place. So you got to back off a little bit and rotate from a distance. The further away you go, the more finer control you have of it. Okay, so that's just something to point out. So now, continuing with these shortcuts, let's take this guy and just rotate it randomly. Alright, and so let's go here. I want to actually make a new window again and move that over. So let's go here to local, and now we can use the keyboard shortcuts, the numeric inputs, with these other options. So let's go scale on the ZZ by 2. Oops, sorry, my keyboard, it's tuned for 2 languages, and so when it does that, it doesn't work. So again, scale ZZ 2, right? So I'll commit to that and see. Now I've used the keyboard shortcut for both of those, for the numeric input as well as the local scaling. So let's Alt S to clear that out. And then, so let's go scale on the Shift ZZ by 2, right? And again, it stays live, so I could go backspace 3, backspace 6, backspace 2, right? Or I can just enter 10, and then backspace, backspace 5, and so on. Or also, it's still live. I can go Shift X, X, or we're a little close to see that, so let me undo. So let's go scale, Shift ZZ, and then 2, right? So if I go Shift XX, it's moving it to there, or Shift YY, it's moving it to there. See, it's all live, and I can also backspace and hit 7, backspace and hit 10, backspace and hit 15, backspace, backspace, and now we're back to 3. Anything we want to enter, or Shift ZZ and 4, Shift YY. You see, so it's always live up until the point where you're ready to commit, and then you left click. So that would be true for any of the keyboard shortcuts that we've gone through up to now.